Season 6 is slamming home new rewards, challenges, and cards to obliterate your opponents in My Team.
It all starts with your season reward, so don't miss claiming the newest legend to the Lakers timeline, Diamond Luka Doncic, who can evo to a pink diamond to become the newest star in your My Team.
And every 10 levels, your lineup will be elevated this season with Pink Diamond Robert Williams III at level 10, the legendary handles of Galaxy Opal Rafer Alston at level 20, and the high-flying Dark Matter Grant Hill at level 30.
And we may as well get fundamental at level 40 when you bring 100 overall Tim Duncan to be the new big man of your My Team.
Oh, I can see the bank shots off the glass already. These heavy hitters will all be helpful in conquering this season's domination series, Out of Time, where modern stars are transported back in time to historically excellent teams.
In Out of Time, you'll square off with teams like Wemby on the classic San Antonio Spurs as he joins forces with Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony Parker. Then there's Lonzo Ball joining Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on the '96 Chicago Bulls.
Now, these are some really fun scenarios, and if you can surpass those super teams and earn all 99 stars, you'll add one of the most skilled players of the modern era. It's Dark Matter Jalen Williams.
Pro Pass automatic rewards include even more fun, with Dark Matter John Wall carving up defenders like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and a Pro Pass pack full of powerful rewards, including a legendary Handles for Days badge.
Cross them up, Sasha. Grab those rewards and get that rep rising to prove that you're the best in My Team.
Our next guest is taking home wins on the digital courts and creating content around 2K. Renee, welcome to 2K TV.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, LD.
Absolutely, we're excited to have you, and I was excited to see your build in NBA 2K. So let's start with that. What was the feeling like for you when 2K reached out and told you that you're gonna have a build featured in the game?
It was actually surprising. I was shocked for sure. It was amazing. I really appreciated the opportunity, and I've been going crazy on that build too, so.
Love it. Let's talk about the build. What did you decide to put into the game? Because everybody kind of has their flavor on different positions, so where did you land?
I'm more of a defensive player, and you know, I decided, like, why not make a lock, you know, that can do everything. So I kind of landed with a lock build.
What are the pros and cons of the build? Where do you think this build is best suited for? 5v5, 3v3, like where do you think you can excel with this build?
So far, I'd say more of the 5v5s. I'd say 3v3 is okay too, but definitely for the 5s.
What are some of the stats you really like to highlight with this build? Is that a high steal, high perimeter? Like where does this build really excel defensively?
I'd say steal. I have a 99 rating on my build. So I usually have average like about 4 to 5 steals a game.
See, I like that because I run out about 4 or 5 times a game. So if I can get an easy 10 points off those steals, that works for me, Renee. What kind of tips could you give fans that use this build to play hard defense, get those steals?
I'd say patience is big when playing defense. I'm more of a lanes player. I also play a lot of on ball, but mostly I kind of read the defense in the most possible way of saying, take your time, kind of gauge where the ball's going honestly, and shut down options for the opponent so where you're able to play better defense. But patience is definitely big.
Let's talk about your 2K journey. What was the first 2K game that you ever played?
I'd say 2K16 was my very first 2K. The dream of hooping, when I couldn't hoop, I was like, oh, why not get on the court and showcase my game a little bit? So yeah, 16 was where I decided to put my dream into action.
Do you have a background in basketball?
I do. I used to play overseas in Japan before I came here, and I decided to focus completely on content creating.
And what made you want to get into content creation specifically?
I'd say I had a little bit of skill. I was like, why not showcase it to everybody? Also teach other people how to play different positions at the time, and yeah, why not?
Awesome. Does that experience of playing overseas, does that help translate into the kind of content you like to create?
It's definitely different. The game is different there. I used to play in Japan, and it is definitely not the same gameplay, but it gives me the same excitement and thrill when I do play as well.
If you played against your defensive my player, do you think you could hoop on it? Or who do you think would have the edge in the matchup?
Definitely my player.
That 99 steals tough.
Right.
What kind of approaches do you take to content creation when you sit down to make content for the fans? Is it educational, like you mentioned? Is that kind of where you focus on?
I kind of focus on more of entertainment, of having fun, not too much of the educational part, but so where you can feel free in the feeling of the game.
What kind of
Thanks for joining us here on 2K Sports for NBA basketball. Alongside Greg Anthony and Stan Van Gundy, this is Kevin Harlan. David Aldridge will be joining us from the sideline. And now the opening lineup for Detroit. They've got Paul George. Filipowski's out there with Gobert. Then there's Stephen Curry. And it's Brown in at the shooting guard position. And for the Rockets, Bol is out there with Jaden McDaniels. Then it's Tyler Hero. Then it's Ball, and it's Ware in at the 5, roaming the paint. Coming into this game, Stan, it's clear who the media thinks will win. We've been reading about it and hearing about it for the last couple days.
Yeah, but Kevin, you know, none of us in the media know what we're talking about. It's just a lot of speculation. And look, it's a cliche, but it's also true. The games aren't won on paper, they're won out on the court, and anyone in the NBA can beat anyone else on a given night.
Which makes me look forward to this one.
Absolutely.
Ball, no good. And here's Brown. He'll bring it up for the Detroit Pistons. Here's Curry. The shot goes in. First shot, first basket.
Great work inside by Curry there. So clever and composed in the paint.
Curry against Ball. Stolen. And the call will be against LaMelo Ball. That's his first foul.
First personal foul. First team foul.
George against McDaniel. Left side, George. The 11-footer. And Ball pulls it down.
Well, he's got the green light in that situation. They want him taking that shot, even if he didn't get it to go.
Ball finds Hero. Back to Ball. Rebound, Detroit. Here's Curry. Hard to imagine, but the stats are tremendous as he averages close to 27 points a game. It's deflected. Deep two from Ball. That's in for the first basket of the game after 3 attempts.
LaMelo using that body control there, making a play. Off contact.
The Pistons have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Now it's send it over to David Aldridge, who was able to talk with Ime Udoka.
Coach said he knows the obstacles of playing against Paul George. He told me, you know he's going to have his fingerprints all over this game on offense and defense. Our goal will be to minimize how often we let him disrupt our game plan. We'll see how long they can keep George out of the picture. Kevin?
Okay, David, thanks. Here's Bull. Paul George making his last shot. 6 on the shot clock. The tray. Excellent D there from George.
Just enough coverage to bother that three-point attempt.
And standing 6'9", Jaden McDaniels, possessing tremendous length for a perimeter defender.
Yeah, Kevin, and he can really move his feet, too. Jaden McDaniels is clearly one of the best and most versatile perimeter defenders in the league.
And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. And here's George for 3.
Yeah, not at his most efficient this quarter. He's got to work on finding high percentage shots.
Bull finds Ball. It's stolen by Curry. Round with it. He's covered by Hero. And he can't jam it through. The Rockets trail. Right side, Ball. Pass to Hero. And he's going up for the alley-oop. Stolen by George. And Curry has it in the corner. The shot's good on the assist by George. Curry's got 5.
It doesn't matter if it's off the bounce or off the catch. Curry never loses rhythm on his jump shot.
Hero kicks to Ware. Ball from long range. Rebound by the Pistons.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively. Oh, nice work finding the open man by George. Plays like this prove he's a team player.
And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets.
Trying to find some answers offensively.
Yeah, they just have to be more patient. Less forcing and more passing.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Hayes, he's checked in for Bol. Stojakovic comes in for McDaniels. She's checked in for Hero. And it's Ellis in for Ball. Now here's Ellis. Currently averaging almost 6 points a game. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Kyle Filipowski. That is his first foul of the game. For the Pistons, Matthews, he's checked in for Brown. And Anthony subbed in for Stephen Curry. Hayes with the steal. They can use a bucket. He lays it in.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Once he gets in deep on the defense, there is no way he's missing a layup like that.
Stackhouse against Stojakovic. It's tipped, and he recovers it. Matthews, no one around him. Another 3 for Detroit.
And that's exactly what he's looking for, draining the triple.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Out to the right wing. Here's G. He's covered by Matthews. Ellis kicks to Stojakovic. Just 4 to shoot. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist.
Both teams running perimeter-oriented plays that are working.
Well, you know it's become a three-point shooting league. Teams shooting a steady diet from outside.
Now here's Anthony. Still without a basket. Again, the Pistons score.
Yeah, Anthony displaying his versatility as a shooter in the mid-range.
And the pass to Ware. Here's G. He's covered by Matthews. G. Matthews with the rebound.
And they have a narrow edge here in rebounding early on, and you wonder what kind of a role that's going to play moving forward.
The shot by Filipowski, no good. Rockets trail by 7. Now Stojakovic. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. Kicks it out to Ellis. Here's Ware. He's covered by Matthews. Ware, good.
And they've scored several times already here in the first quarter on the inside.
Pistons leading by 5. Now here's Anthony. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. Houston's gone a meager 1 of 6 from three-point land since we got started tonight. Stackhouse with the steal. Ware passes to G. And here is Ellis, covered by Stackhouse. Ellis surveying the D. Pass to Ware. To the paint. Here's Hayes. And Hayes throws it down.
I tell you, he's playing the game with pure excitement right now.
He capped off that dunk with some serious hang time on the rim. 1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
Well, Anthony is a creative scorer and knows how to get the defense off balance.
That free throw, no good.
Anthony, 2 shots.
And the second free throw, good. Here's G. Hasn't made one yet. Pass to Stojakovic. Here's the 3. The shot, no good. And we reached the end of the first quarter. The Pistons on top, leading by 4. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Toyota Center. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Detroit.
Well, our coaching staff has to be happy with how active they've been defensively, forcing turnovers and making the offense uncomfortable.
And not only that, their elite conditioning evident from the pace they're playing offensively. Boy, they are getting out and running.
Ostertag is out there with Miller. Then it's Goodwin. Then it's Tyler Hero. And it's McDaniels at the small forward. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Rockets.
First team.
Stan, of all the different styles of offense in this NBA, what style is the toughest to defend, toughest to stop?
Kevin, I don't think there's really any difference in terms of styles or systems in terms of what's tough to stop. It's players, and it's how well a system maximizes their best players. That's what makes teams tough to stop.
And with an update from the sideline, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Thank you, Kevin. Rudy Gobert continues to embrace the challenge of elite rim protection. He said competition is what it's about. Sometimes I'm going to get dunked on, and sometimes I'll get the block. I'm not going to stop coming and doing what I do. I'll be there every time. Kevin?
David, just like you. Thanks so much. Makes it off the glass. And the Pistons lead by 2.
Works that one inside nicely.
Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Goodwin with it. Nothing on the board. post. Defended by George. And here is Curry. Launches a three. Miller grabs the miss. And for Houston, they're shooting not great, 40% for the game. And many around the league believe Curry doesn't get enough fouls called in his favor. GA, what do you think?
There could be some truth to that. He gets held and grabbed more than anyone when running off screens, but especially late on drives to the rim.
No good on that for the Rockets. Bol comes in for Miller, and it's ball in for Goodwin. And he's good on the second. And it's Curry with the ball, bringing it up for the Pistons. The Kings after this game. That game marks the first half of a quick two-game homestand. And a breakdown here, guys, the hustle stats for the Rockets.
Well, so far they've done a great job of reading the offense and repeatedly putting themselves in the right place to interrupt the play and force turnovers.
Another thing that stands out is how they've contested shots. They're not making it easy for the opponent, and it shows with those block numbers.
Curry with the bucket.
I mean, what can we say about Steph's jumper that hadn't already been said?
Curry against Ball. And George gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
And now only one away from being in the penalty.
And the Rockets making a change here. Sims is checked in. Ball from long range. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. It's going to be on Rudy Gobert.
And the size Ball has poses problems for any defense, especially when he's trying his best to be aggressive scoring.
Houston making a switch. Ellis is checked in. Brown against Ellis. Brown kicks to Gobert. Curry deciding where to go with it. Brown, no good.
Well, he's more than comfortable in the mid-range, but you can't make them all.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Pistons trail by 3. And now the first time out called here for Detroit. Pass it to George. And that one goes long. Houston leading by 3. McDaniels dishes to Ellis. Closing in on 4 minutes play here in the second quarter. There's McDaniels. Gobert pulls it in. Gobert's got his 5th rebound in this one. Knocks it loose. And a bit of a battle here for the ball. The official signals a jump ball here.
Jump ball.
And so it's Houston with it. For Houston, they've gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. Ball from long range. Sinks the three-pointer. Ball's got the lead up to 6 now for the Rockets.
Never short on confidence. Ball takes a long look without hesitation.
Here's George. Count it from 12. George has got his second bucket of the game to go.
Well, maybe the defense thinks they can live with that, but he's pretty consistent from that mid-range area.
Timeout called. The Rockets. We are right in the middle part of a long season, GA. As a player, how do you stay engaged? How do you stay focused?
Kevin, this is where the grind can really catch up to you. Easy to start feeling complacent or check out a little bit. So you got to shake that off. And I tell you another thing, your coaches will play a huge role in keeping you engaged.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Ware's checked in. Hayes comes in for Bol. Stojakovic is checked in for McDaniels. And G's subbed in for Ellis. Now here's Anthony. To the inside. Second chance shot. Another miss for him. Now shooting 1 for 4 from the floor. Here's Ball into the lane.
And there's that athleticism. Man, does Ball get up fast for that one.
Pistons trail by 6. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Passes it to Filipowski. Right at the free throw line. That's good on the jump shot. Filipowski's got his first bucket in this one.
Yeah, the more he knocks those down, the more confidence this coaching staff's going to have in him.
G passes to Stojakovic. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch later. Stojakovic has got 5 now. And, well, Detroit shooting for the game at 42%. Anthony against Ball. The shot by Anthony, no good. Rockets leading by 6. Here's Stojakovic. He's got 5. Outside, Ball. Fires from deep. That shot off. The Pistons shooting 33% in the second quarter. The offense has looked crossed up and confused at times. Here's Stackhouse. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
Stojakovic against Stackhouse. Plenty of space. Matthews with the rebound. And so it's Matthews with it, bringing it up now for the Detroit Pistons. Goodwin's checked in for Ball. Paul George, he's checked in for Detroit. 44 seconds left in the second quarter. Here's Ware. The Rockets again can't hit.
And that is the exact type of opportunity this offense is looking to create.
Yeah, quality offense will serve you well in the long run. They can't settle for bad shots.
So it's the Rockets now after the basket by Detroit. Goodwin dishes to Hayes. 16 seconds left in the first half. Inside, deflects the pass, taken away by Anthony. And now the fast break. Matthews with the ball. Whoops, they pick off the pass. Here's G. Oh, my goodness, with no time left on the clock.
Without a moment to spare, he guts this one out.
What poise, what focus. That's an impressive shot.
And that'll do it for the first half. A competitive game so far. Rockets lead by 4. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much. Steph, coach said that you had to make them feel you physically in this game. How important is it to continue doing that in the second half?
That's a big deal. I mean, just being physical and, make the right plays and then hopefully put ourselves in good position to win.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, Steph. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is right here. Say hey to the folks, Kenny.
Hey, folks.
Say hey to the folks, Shaq.
Hey, folks.
Hey, let's get this party started. Okay. Houston found themselves in a close game in the first. They only had a couple rough stretches, and as the first period came to a close, they had a 4-point deficit. They had a very good second quarter, currently holding a 4-point advantage at halftime. Kenny, what do you think about the Rockets?
We have to love the second unit. The effort they just played, they're doing much more than giving the starters a break. We're seeing real intensity from them, particularly on the offensive end.
Check. What do you think about the Pistons?
I'd like to see them get to the line more. To do that, you got to be aggressive, force the action, drive the lane, make the defense react to what you're doing. If they can do that, I think they have a good chance of pulling out a win.
And that's a wrap. With the third quarter approaching, we now send you back to Kevin and the crew.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Here's Curry. And Detroit looking at who they've got. We've got Brown. Filipowski's out there with Paul George. And it's Rudy Gobert. And it's Curry in at the point guard position. Now here's Ball. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. Ball kicks to Ware. Rebound by the Pistons. Gobert's got 6 rebounds in the game. In the corner, George with it. Stolen by McDaniels. Brown against Ball. Dishes at the bowl. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
So close to getting the block there. You can live with those calls because you'd rather have a guy playing aggressive instead of playing it safe.
Pistons trail by 6. About 1 minute played here in the second half. Brown, no good. Now the Rockets with it. Oklahoma City Thunder will be in town for the next one. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand.
That's just too easy for Ball. Once he gets the right position, his focus there is on the finish.
Wow, his shooting woes continue, and it's weighing down this offense.
It's stolen by Brown. Now Detroit moving it up.
Rockets foul.
For Detroit, they have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1-2 so far.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
In the last few decades, we've seen the 3 become more and more necessary for offenses. Wondering if you think that's a good thing.
Well, it is, and teams not only understand the value of making a lot of three-point shots, but the threat of the 3 spreads out defenses and actually makes it easier for you to get shots at the rim. So the 3 is absolutely necessary to be a great offensive team in this league.
Quickly, is the arc too close? Should they move it, maneuver that a little bit?
Well, the skill level is really, really high. I like the suggestion of keeping the arc the same all the way around, which would eliminate the corner 3.
And it's Brown missing.
Well, 4 failed attempts to start this half. Not what they wanted out of the locker room.
And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And really the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
The Rockets shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here. Ellis is checked in for Houston.
And he's shown a great touch at the line. They've tested the big guy, but he's come through.
Curry against Ellis. Now, here is George. Tight defense on him. It's rebounded by Houston.
It was an ugly start to the second half. They're still scoreless in their first 5 attempts.
And he gets it to go.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Here's Gobert. He gets it in there.
Too much. Rudy Gobert can take a lot of contact down low.
Outside Hero. He lobs up the alley-oop pass and the dunk by Ball.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. Timeout call, the Pistons. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated. He has perfected his ability in the pick and roll. Curry going to work.
Now the pass to McDaniels over George, and Curry pulls it down. And here's Curry, who brings it up for Detroit. Here's Brown, and he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Tyler Hero picks one up. The Pistons shooting their 6th and 7th free throw attempts tonight. Jerry Stackhouse is checked in for Detroit, and he sinks the second. We've gone about 3.5 minutes into the third now. Now Ellis. Pass to McDaniels. Back to Ellis. 5 on the clock. McDaniels passes to Ostertag. Gobert with the defensive effort. Pistons trail by 6.
You know, when Rudy Gobert is down low, it strikes fear into the opponent. This is a guy who has led the league in blocks and rebounds at different times. Inside the paint, he is just a nightmare to battle against.
Nice work defensively to contest that shot right at the rim. Nothing easy.
Here's Curry with the 3, and another 3 for Detroit.
There's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D.
Ellis outside. Outside, Hero. No good, unable to end this run.
And this is what you like about his perimeter D. Never gave up and challenged the defense.
Yeah, and it's really hard to stay connected to shooters out there. And even harder to contest the shot without foul.
Now here's Ellis. Here's Miller. It's hauled in by Brown. The Pistons have gone a somewhat subpar 4 of 10 on their shots in the second half so far. Got a piece of it. And he recovers it. Pass to Curry. That's tipped. From deep three-point territory. It's rebounded by Houston.
And when you are as good a shooter as he is, you have to have the confidence to take that shot. Might not always fall.
That's one of those heat check shots, and heat check is a synonym for bad shot.
Hero finds Ellis. Offensive rebound. Detroit's gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Lebowski passes to Curry. Pistons passing it around. Stolen by McDaniels. Here's Ellis. And he makes good on the layup. Ellis has got 6. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Rockets.
Well, all you can ask for is your guys to be really active on D, and they've been more than that tonight.
And not just that. They're also forcing turnovers at a high rate and taking advantage in transition.
Kicks it to McDaniels. There's the triple. It's hauled in by Brown. Brown's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And Curry has it in the corner. Second shot opportunity. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
And you know, after that tremendous collegiate career, Stackhouse came into the NBA with a ton of buzz, and he has not disappointed. He's an offensive force to be reckoned with.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Jackson Hayes, he's checked in for Ostertag. Peja Stojakovic comes in for Miller. She's checked in for Tyler Hero. And Goodwin's up in for Ellis. Rockets have been coming through at the charity sector. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
And G drops them both.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
Anthony looking it over. For the lead. Can't get it to fall. 3/4 of play in a close game here. Houston on top, up 2. And we'll have the start of the 4th quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break.
43.
And let's go back to a terrific pass that we're calling tonight our State Farm assist of the game.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
Yeah, that's high-level playmaking. He makes it look easy, but it's not.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this 4th quarter promises to be a good one. G is out there with Goodwin. Then there's McDaniels. Then there's Stojakovic. And it's Hayes in at the center position. That's the 5 for Houston right now. Here's G. To the right side. And there's Goodwin on the assist by G. Goodwin's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Now here's Matthews. Lob pass to George. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Here's Stojakovic. Rebounded by the Pistons. Stackhouse has got his 4th rebound in this one. To the middle. Here's George. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
Paul George at the line for 2.
Throw good, Paul George.
And you know, George is a tough cover. The length, the range, smooth athlete, very difficult to match up with.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Ware's checked in. And Bull Bulls come in for McDaniels.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Timeout call to Pistons.
Yeah, just looking to tighten up their defense in the paint. They've got to be better.
Yeah, it's basically a layup line. You're not going to win many games if you can't offer more resistance than that.
Now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. David.
Hey, Kevin. During that last break, I heard J.B. Bickerstaff talking with his team. He was disappointed in the shot selection. He told them, stay patient, run the offense, make the extra pass. You don't have to make up the deficit all at once. See if they start shooting a little better. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Here's ball. Paul George making his last shot.
Defense tries to shut ball down, but he takes the contact and gets the shot in the air.
Team foul.
That's good from Ball. A different look here for Detroit. Filipowski comes in for Gobert, and Curry subbed in for Stackhouse. Ball hits them both.
Yeah, great effort tonight, and he's been rewarded with trips to the line.
Stojakovic kicks to G. Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through. It's hauled in by George. And so George will bring it up for the Pistons. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Ball.
Great energy on the deflection, and a good job disrupting their offense.
Yeah, there's nothing easy on offense. Coaches love seeing that kind of hustle on the defensive end.
Now here's Curry. The shot by Filipowski, no good. Ball with it, and Curry picks him up defensively. Matthews with the steal. For the finish, and it's Anthony with the jam.
Well, Anthony's showing us the spring in his step.
Rockets leading by 4. Ball, the pass to Bull. Oh, here comes Curry all alone. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. LaMelo Ball picks one up.
I'll tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Well, he might have been a little passive in the first half, but that's changed. I like this more aggressive approach.
Brown is checked in for Cole Anthony.
And you know with Curry, what impresses me most is his efficiency. That's not something we normally see in a high-volume jump shoot.
Ball kicks to Stojakovic. Jacks up a 3. Hands it from downtown. And the Rockets lead by 5.
And those are the types of shots down the stretch that win you ball games.
Curry against Ball. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle. 2 shots coming up.
Clever move by Curry, taking the foul, but still getting the shot up.
They throw good. Curry and the Rockets making a change here. Heroes checked in. Stephen Curry hits them both. Ball with it. Takes it inside. G. It's good. The assist that time from Ball. Ball's got 3 assists now in this one. Pistons trail by 6. And here's George for 3. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Ware's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Outside, Ball. And here is Hero. Just 5 on the clock. Passes it to Bull. Bull with a wide open look. And another 3 for Houston.
Their third three-pointer in a row.
Pistons have gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Brown finds George. Takes the 3. And the rebound goes to the Rockets. Outside, Ball. A floater gets that one to fall. That's his 6th field goal. He has shot the ball 12 times. Dan, you've been on the bench in the NBA for many decades. What are some of your biggest pet peeves as a coach?
Oh, my gosh, Kevin, that would be a long list. But the 2 biggest would be this. I think, number 1, anytime there was a lack of effort, not running back on defense, things like that, that I had a hard time tolerating. And then mental breakdowns, things we had prepared for over and over and over again. And then guys just zone out and forget what they're supposed to do. Those are things that were hard to tolerate.
Especially when you would take such care in preparing them in every way. It's got to be just
frustrating is that?
Now a timeout called by Detroit.
Let's see if Coach can get them back on the right track.
Yeah, I like the timeout here. The coaching staff needs to get these guys regrouped and refocused.
And now a moment to present the New Balance Player of the Game, LaMelo Ball.
And he's had a very good night shooting the basketball. A little over 50% from the field. And a lot of those shots have come against some tight D. That shows the level of his focus and consistency.
What a connection he has to these fans. They love him here. And the more he has games like this, the deeper that connection gets. Stolen by Ball. There's the lob to the hoop. And that one is hammered home.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
Absolutely. They're playing their game and executing at a real high level. Everything is working for them right now.
There's the whistle. Illegal screen. I've heard some talk about this idea, Stan. What do you think about adding a one-on-one tournament to the All-Star Weekend?
Wow, Kevin, I love that idea. And if you could get the better players to play, I think there would be some serious interest in that from fans and some great competition among the players.
We see it every night in the NBA, and that's what we all crave for, right? We want to see the biggest names against each other.
Yeah, every night we want to see the best players one-on-one against the other great players in the league.
And Ball sends it back. Ball, the pass to Ware. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
And when it comes to moving the ball, LaMelo is unreal. Can make any pass in the book.
Curry against Ball. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen. Stan, you always emphasize defense. What do you make of the offensive surge in the NBA today?
Well, Kevin, look, the skill level is the best it's ever been. Shooting range is incredible, which makes defenses have to defend more and more of the court. Rules and officiating favor the offense. It's never been harder to defend in the NBA.
It sure looks that way. You're right. Now, here's Ball. 2 on the clock. Here's G. No good from outside. And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Pistons.
And these are the types of games where one team clearly has the edge. Tonight, it will be a win by a large margin for the Rockets.
I think the attitude was very impressive. Definitely a competitive game, and they fought through it each step of the way.
Absolutely. They put on a tremendous performance in terms of the effort and intensity. This was a well-deserved win.
And this will be a big win for them. Lucky win number 13 now in the bag. And one of the league's top talents, game in and game out. And doing it here again in this one. A terrific night for LaMelo Ball.
He just looked like an orchestrator out there. His teammates kept running to the open spot, and he found them time and time again.
Houston foul. Peja Stojakovic. First personal foul. Fourth team foul. Substitution on the court.
And a little luck that time, but it drops.
Yeah, nice read by Gobert. When he's providing an assist, that is a big bonus.
Here's Ellis. The pass to G. Fires the 3. No good. So we see Houston taking the W here. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. Once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. So, for Greg Anthony, Stan Van Gundy, and our reporter David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. So long and good night, everyone.